This is Zoe, aka Zoe the Raven. She's a shuffle dancer. She came from Calgary and is now here in Vancouver. Her review for today is basically what I usually do, so I would highly recommend for you guys to watch her video. She says it all from the beginning to the end. So if you really want to dive in and really know all the details of Shambhala, check out this review from Zoha.
What's up YouTube? I'm Zoha and I'm going to be talking about my experience at Shambhala. So this is the second year that I've been to Shambs. My first time was last year, and to say, long story short, it's very different. Of course, the biggest caveat of it all was the fact that this year it was a sold out event and last year it wasn't. So as you can imagine, there was definitely more people. There was an influx of people this year. But I thought I should share my experience, some pros and cons, and hopefully some pro tips that you can take away. Disclaimer, the list can be endless, but I'm just going to give you probably my biggest pro tips and the more overarching highlights for me personally as a festival goer. So starting off with getting there. So if you're, I don't know, it depends on which part of the world you're getting there. There's always the road that you can take to get there. You have to access it by road. The nearest, I believe, the airport would be Cranbrook or Castleguard. I'm saying it wrong, but I would say getting by road is definitely your best bet. So just something to keep in mind. The roads are in the mountains, so it can be quite meandering and it's quite windy, and so having a confident and a good driver as well as a good car is definitely something that you should keep in mind when you're planning your road trip there. I have taken the road trip both from Calgary to Shambhala and from Vancouver to Shambhala, and from the two I would pick Calgary hands down. Definitely the BC mountains. The roads are a lot more meandering and they're a lot more narrow and winding. So just to keep that in mind, and also to leave early to get to the festival. There are so many unforeseen circumstances that happen when you're on those roads, and there are sometimes drivers who are not driving really well. This is the first time it's ever happened to me, but on my way to Shams this year, we encountered two major car crashes. So we got delayed quite a bit from Vancouver to Shambhala this year. So happy that we left early enough in the morning, but still we got there pretty late. So just to keep that in mind, that to leave early and to account for the fact that there might be some delays in your arrival. Which kind of brings me to my second point of getting there. This should be something you do every time when you go to a festival, is always fuel up before you enter the grounds, just because the wait times are so long to get in and to get out. You just definitely don't want to be empty on gas when you're getting to the festival, but expect long wait times to both enter and to get out of the festival. I would say entering in took us a lot longer in terms of wait time. We waited about 12 hours to get in, so we got to the festival grounds inside at 11:30, and we waited about 12 hours, and we got in the next day at 11:30 a.m. So 11:30 p.m. the night before, and then 11:30 a.m. the morning after. So yeah, expect long wait times. Bring enough food and water to wait. It's really fun sometimes in the lines too. People are having their canopies out. They're playing games. I saw some people playing some spike ball too, and you make new friends and come with the most energy and expect to make lots of friends and the festival and on your way in line. So that's pretty great. It's entertaining that way, but it's quite the trek getting inside, and it's mostly because they are doing their due diligence of checking the cars and the tickets and everything. It is a dry festival, so I would make sure you take a look at the prohibited items that they don't allow, alcohol being the number one. So they do check your cars, randomly select to check your cars, and if they do find that even a little bit that you have alcohol, they will tear up not exactly, I'm exaggerating here, but they will do their due diligence of searching your car. Which brings me to another point, actually, to make sure you have your ticket ready when you're going. It just makes checking in a lot more smoother, easier for everyone else, and quicker as well for those who have been waiting really long hours in line. So definitely get that printed or have a screenshot it off your phone, just because like Wi-Fi and data and signals can be spotty there. So I always screenshot my ticket from the portal and have cash in hand. Someone told me that their lines were super long when they came early on Tuesday because their machines, the debit card machines, weren't working, so they were unable to take in like card transactions. So yeah, be prepared with bring cash. It's just so much easier and easier to go in, and easier for the volunteers as well as everyone else, which I should also mention that technically the festival does start on Friday, but you can get in as early as Tuesday that week. I highly recommend that you do try to get there earlier. I got there Wednesday, hoping to get in Wednesday evening, and I ended up getting there Thursday morning, which I prefer not to. Last year I got in Wednesday night, and I like that a lot more. So I'm hoping for the next year I'll probably get there even earlier and get there on Tuesday, just because although the festival does start on Friday, they are setting things up. There are vendors, food vendors that are downtown Shambhala is up and running. You have food there, you have entertainment, you've got all these vendors for like clothes and jewelry and like hats and accessories for this festival. So even if you didn't bring anything to wear or any festival outfits, you get the best fits at Shambhala. So prepared for that. And so it's really nice to experience the festival like nice and slowly during the day as well as the night. And so when you get there early, not only do you secure a really good camping spot if you are camping at the free camping grounds, but you also get to enjoy the festival, or like, you know, aspects of it as they slowly open up during the daytime as well. And you know, you get to meet new people as well during the day. So that was another thing I would say, even though there was more people this year, you did also get to meet a lot more people because of that. So that was also really great. I made a lot of new friends this year, which I didn't do so much last year, so that was wonderful as well. And so once when you get in the ground, so that's getting there, and once you're going to get in the ground, the camping and staying there has been divided into about 3 parts. So you get Meta, which is all free camping, and then you get Starlight, which is camping with your camper van. So you need to have like a RV or camper van to be able to park there and camp there. And then Sunshine, which is where you camp with your car, so next to your car. And then obviously there's free parking for those who are camping at Meta. So if you are entering early, you are paying early entry fees to get into the festival. I believe this year the way they divided it was Tuesday, if you got there, it was like $160, and then Wednesday was $130, and then Thursday was $70 to get in early. And then Fridays, you don't have to pay the extra early entry price just because you have already paid for the general admission ticket. But I would highly suggest getting there early, especially if you're looking for a camping spot at Meta or Sunshine, because they do get booked up quite a bit, and I think it's on a first come first serve basis too. So I would highly recommend getting there early just to secure a good camping spot. There are people who are very, very, very committed to that. They spend the night overnight somewhere on Monday night, and they get there first thing in the morning at 6 a.m. when they open the gates to the public on Tuesday. So definitely keep that in mind, and keep in mind with the pricing as well. So you are paying the early entry price depending on that. And then you're paying additional price also if you're camping with your car. So also keep that in mind too. I know it gets pretty pricey that way. I personally always do the free camping for that reason, because then you're not paying not only for a camping spot, but you're not only paying for early entry fees, but then you're not also paying for a camping spot. So they're two different things that you'll have to pay extra for if you are camping with your car. Okay, and so which brings me to the next point, since I am just a veteran of the meta camping, is that bring a wagon. Nobody told me that my first year, and me and my sister didn't bring a wagon, and it was absolute hell getting to our camping spot in Meta because it's very far away. Expect a trek. You really do get super fit for Shambs because you're like lugging in all your things from free camping to Meta, which is about, I would say it took us like at least 30 minutes from one way. So it was like 30, so it's like about an hour going back and forth. So yeah, so expect a lot of trekking for that. Bring a wagon if you are parking at Meta. This year, from my experience, because they had such an influx of people, and they, in my personal opinion, I think they oversold on tickets. Like I was a little disappointed with the fact that they really did oversell on the tickets this year, and there were just way too many people. I did feel that there was an overcrowd and surge of people this year, which you know, has its pros and cons. Like I said, you meet a lot of people, but at the same time, there was overcrowding in Meta and the free parking, and in Sunshine and in Starlight. And all the camping areas, it was just overcrowded. People were too close to each other. I was lucky that my friend secured a spot early, so even though we came a little bit later, we were still able to camp together. So that's another thing. If you want to camp with your friends, you have to plan it that way. And this year they cut down the space for Meta. Meta used to be pretty big for the free camping spot, but half of it got taken up by Shambhala lodging, which I get. It's a great way to secure a spot. With Shambhala lodging is basically kind of like glamping. There are different levels to it, but you almost secure a spot for sure instead of the first come first serve basis with the early entry fee. So they do make a lot of money from that, but in my humble opinion, I think that's not what Shambhala should be about. And yeah, it kind of sucked that they really cut down a lot of space for Meta because of that. But anyway, we did get lucky in the sense that our friends were volunteering early, so were able to secure some form of spot for us and space for us, but some people weren't as lucky. And in my personal opinion, I also like Meta more because Shambhala gets, like Nelson, BC gets Samo actually, because it's at the Samo River Ranch campsite. It gets very, very hot, about 30 degrees. So it's nice to be in Meta because all the trees are there. So it's comparatively cooler than Sunshine and Starlight, in my opinion, unless you're near the trees in Starlight. So yeah, that's why they put Shambhala lodging where the trees were and where Meta was. So I hope they take in the complaints from this year, and hope they give more camping space for Meta, or even to let us know that there was less camping space at Meta, because we only knew this because our friends were volunteering before, and so they informed us about this change. Otherwise we would have never known. So yeah, just something to keep in mind as well when you're getting there. I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place. It's just trying to go with the flow here. Another thing to keep in mind when you are at Shambhala is that not only is it very hot, it is very, very dusty and dirty. So definitely bring masks to cover your faces and your nose. Shambhala lung is a thing, and you can get a horribly, horribly dry throat, filled with dust, and nose that is completely blocked. So yeah, get neti. I highly suggest getting neti to clean your nose. It gets so dirty, like you get the black boogies, and it's like no fun. And your voice goes away too. So yeah, definitely get a mask when you're doing your hauling of the wagon and walking here and there, especially when cars are going through. There's a lot of dust that's going around, so keep that in mind. Bring lots of sunscreen, bug spray, don't forget your bug spray, and camping gear, of course. You camp how you like to, and everyone has a different way of camping, which is a really important point to keep in mind when you are at Shambhala, is that Shambhala at the end of the day is what you make it. No matter, despite the surging crowd, despite the fact that some stages were a little too crowded and for my taste, just a few of them sometimes for some sets where I couldn't dance. At the end of the day, I still had fun. I still met some really great people. I was still able to dance. I was still able to see who I wanted to see. I went to the river every day. There's a river there, which is wonderful. You spend a little time at the river. We used to cool off. Me and my sister had our own little schedule where we would get up and, have our breakfast, hang out with our friends, go to the river, come back and get ready, and then go to downtown Shambhala. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind, is that Shambhala is what you make it, and you camp how you would like to camp and how you would like to make your experience. Some people said that the water tanks were not constantly filled up, but I wouldn't say I had that experience. We were quite close to a water tank and near the porta potties, not very close to them, so we didn't get the smell, but we were close enough, and the water tank was always filled whenever we saw it in the morning. The porta potties were periodically cleaned. They were filled with TP all the time. I think this was last year, me and my sister, we got a water filtration system. So we would get water from the river and then filter it to get clean water. And we used that quite a bit last year, but this year we barely had to because we were so close to the water tank and we really kept using it all the time. So I would say always come prepared, like never rely on a festival to solely constantly provide you with clean water. Always bring your own, and you're enough food for yourself. But it was nice that we didn't have to worry about that too much, which was awesome. Food, they have wonderful food vendors, but it is expensive. The food there downtown Shambhala that has all the food it's BC priced. You get it for 25 to 30 bucks. So plan accordingly if you are spending money on food, or if you want to spend that much money on food. Like I said, they have wonderful vendors with clothes and accessories and festival gear that you can spend on. But again, it is a little pricey, so be prepared to spend the amount if you want to spend the amount. I really liked a lot of things over there, so next year I'm gonna probably hold off on spending on one outfit so I can buy at Shambhala, because there were some wonderful outfits that I had really eyed and wanted to get, but I had not budgeted for them. So really appreciated that they had more vendors this year as compared to last year. And they spend a lot of money on the production of the stages. So the stages they're breathtaking. They are something to see. Each stage has its own vibe. It has its own theme. You get the amp, which is even though the festival officially begins on Friday, the amp in the living room is opened on Thursday. So that technically there's like a pre-festival on Thursday. So if you do come early, you do get to experience that. The amp stage and the living room stage, which is also so much fun. So amp has I think it's got an eclectic mix of music, but my favorite stages are Fractal Forest, Pagoda, and the Village stage. Fractal Forest, you get the funky house jams, bass house kind of music. Pagoda is all house and techno, and Village is dubstep and DMB, so you can expect all of that, and hardstyle. So those stages are fantastic. The living room stage is also a vibe. The Grove is another stage, 6 stages. So you do get 6 stages, which is amazing. Grove is a very cool, relaxing kind of vibe. I don't know. I don't spend too much time at the Grove, but I do know during the day it's definitely a really nice place to be. It's got sand on the floor, so it kind of gives you that beach vibe. Living room is near the river, so you can also hang by the river while you're getting music. So that's really nice. Muscle Beach is the beach that a lot of people at Meta and the camping grounds go to, but just something to keep in mind, it does get extremely busy. So yeah, if you want to stay away from the crowd, I would say walk a little bit further to Muscle Beach and you kind of get a more quiet spot, which is a little bit away from the crowd, or you go before where the crowd surges. So you kind of have to find your sweet spot. Again, we were very lucky to be near the side of the beach that was less busy. So we got great, like I said, it was a great spot, even though it was a little bit more further away than last year. I was still able to get a spot near in the trees, hang out with my friends, be near the river, have enough water, and be near the bathrooms. And so, yeah, that was my experience. It was wonderful. I will always go there. I think Shambhala is definitely one of my favorite festivals. I appreciate all the art and the music and the vibes that they bring and the people, and hopefully they'll keep attracting the good kind of people and not trying to oversell it and make it something that it's not, which is, I think it's not one of those festival that is about getting too messed up or like getting too drunk and or anything like that. It's more about community and art and music and culture, and I hope it keeps that, and that's what I really like about Shambhala as well. Yeah, and so I do hope you get to experience this festival and really get a chance to listen to the music and meet new people, get connected from people from all over the world, I would say, mostly North America, but yeah, and get a chance to experience the Nelson, BC life, which is really chill, and it's so beautiful, and it's everyone you meet says happy Shams, and it's a vibe. There's the woo as well, like everyone carries it out where you hear the Shamba woo, you kind of hear people start with the woo, and it's like goes on a wave throughout the festival, and you have to continue it till the very end. So that's always fun too, and there's just so much to see. It's definitely something. Also keep in mind, wet wipes are also your best friend. It gets super dirty there and it's almost impossible to stay clean all the time. So you can wet wipe yourself. You can't bring biodegradable soap and like shower in the river. You can't take dips, and but they do keep an eye on that, just because it is a farm and people do live there and they do farm, and they want to make sure the place is exactly clean as you bring it. So make sure you wipe away any trash. Don't leave any trash behind. Be respectful to the land and the area that you're in. Pick up after yourself and keep it clean. My sister and I, we brought those portable showers, and so we brought biodegradable soap, so we would use it on the side and not in the river. So just something to keep in mind. And you can never have enough baby wipes to wipe everything. So wipe yourself with that, bring that, so be prepared for that. They also sell ice there, so whenever you're bringing a cooler and you feel that you're running out of ice, they do have ice over there that they sell. Just keep in mind the lines get super long during the day, so kind of time that as you will, or be prepared to stand in long lines when you are getting ice. So another thing to keep in mind, a pro tip. Anyway, I hope this little small short spiel convinces you to go. I had a great time. I'm definitely going to return, and I know they're always willing to improve and do better. And I know they will do that. Just my other really biggest, last really big tip is that to leave, when you are leaving that festival, leave either Monday morning or Tuesday, because if you leave later than 12 on Monday, you get stuck in lines again. That is like, they're kind of like gridlock lines. We were waiting in line for 5 hours to get out. So so definitely leave early on Monday or leave on Tuesday. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and hope maybe catch you again sometime. See you.
Thank you, Zoha, for your awesome review. This is the type of review I would usually do if I were to come back from a music festival. So I'm really thankful for you for giving this really detailed review and very honest one as well. Alright guys, if you really like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you went to Shambhala. What was your favorite thing at Shambhala? What do you think they need to work on? And the one question I really want to ask all of you is, how can Vancouver or British Columbia really improve their music festivals? You know, we aren't really the best place to have music festivals, I feel, just because it's getting super expensive. Not a lot of people are going because of the expense. Or how can we get more people to even go? Really, like what else? You know, it's so different. Back in the day, going to music festivals and raves were just so inexpensive. It was so easy. You can go to so many events and you can even save money at the same time. But times has changed. So maybe give some feedback down below. Maybe blueprint if you're watching. Maybe listen to some of the comments that some people are sharing. Because you know, at the end of the day, we really just want the community to get back and to grow back the way it was compared to the 2014, like the 2014 to 2018 days, obviously before the pandemic. But yeah, anyways, thank you again for watching. Alright, hopefully there's going to be a Veld review, another one from fellow music festival goers. Fingers crossed, pray for it to happen. Just a lot of things going on and everyone's going on vacation, so hopefully it will happen so you guys can get a review and a little idea of how Veld is like. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.